This is Cleveland. Ain't nobody touching the guy like Ohio State. Ain't gonna put a buck on that eye.
Little Buckeyes, we're in the shoe. OHIO. Let's talk a little Buckeyes, a little preview, talk about the season coming up. All right. 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the kickoff. It's going to be a night game against Notre Dame, week 1. Looks like we're number 2. Notre Dame's number 5. I do not believe in preseason rankings whatsoever. There's no way to tell who the best team in the country is, or second best, or fifth best team in the country is, without seeing them play on the field. Okay? So, I don't believe in preseason rankings. You're bringing in a completely different team from last year. You have players that left last year, so I can't base it off of your team last year. I can't project what these young players are going to bring to the table. I generally like to say by week 5, you know who the best team in the country is by week 5. I can't really say by the first 3 weeks because most teams are playing 3 cupcakes the first 3 weeks of the season. Now this year, the Buckeyes, we have 2 cupcakes. I like to say, I hate to disrespect them like that, but that's what I call them. One solid game, and it's the first one of the season. That's always tough. You never know what you're coming off of, what kind of offseason you had. You got to get the jitters out. It's a night game. It's a nationally televised game. The good thing is our young players that played last year have a whole year of experience now. The problem we ran into last year, that first game against Minnesota, was C.J. Stroud. It was his first time getting on the field. He didn't get any time before that because if you remember, it was a COVID-shortened season. So not only did all of our upperclassmen have to play every game, we weren't blowing people out last year. So there was no opportunity for these young players to get experience and get their feet wet, get playing time, like normally would do at Ohio State. When the young players, by the time they get on the field, they've played a little bit because we've blown people out and they've had an opportunity to get some real live game action against some Division I opponents. We didn't have that last year. So that first game was rough, and CJ struggled that first game in Minnesota. I remember it well. But he settled down, he got in the groove of things, and we were able to see where we were at. All right, so again, I don't believe in preseason rankings, but they got us playing Notre Dame. They're ranked number 5. All right, first 3 games, 2 of the first 3 games are night games. All right, so we got week 3, and then who we play week 3? Week 3, we're playing Toledo at home in the shoe. 7 o'clock kickoff, 7 p.m. Should be an easy game. Arkansas State week 2, before that should be an easy game. Then we kick off the Big Ten schedule. And right off the bat, we got Wisconsin. At home, thank goodness. But we got Wisconsin. Now, that kickoff time is to be determined, so I'm assuming it's probably going to be a 3 o'clock kickoff. I don't think they'll give us a back-to-back night game. But then it eases up, and we got Rutgers at home. Then we got our first road test. So if you're keeping track, our first 5 games are at home, which is good. Bodes well for us. First 5 games at home. Week 6, we got Michigan State. We got Old Sparty in East Lansing. I don't particularly think that game will be too tough. It has the potential to be tough. Mel Tucker knows Ohio State pretty well, being that he coached here before. But with our firepower, I think we should handle Michigan State pretty easy. Then we got Iowa. Then we got the road game in Happy Valley at Penn State. Now that kickoff time is to be determined. If they make that a night game and it's a whiteout game, I don't care what the records are, you can throw all that stuff out the window. That's a tough place to play. That is a tough place to play. With James Franklin, he knows us well. He's a decent coach. I think he's a better coach than what a lot of people are giving him credit for. But I believe that will be a tough game. especially if it's a night game and they do the whiteout like Happy Valley does. Don't like playing there at night. Then that eases up Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, and then week 12. Redemption comes to the shoot. Ohio State, Michigan. We are going to blow the doors off of Michigan. I'm telling you now. Okay? It has the potential to get very ugly. All right? And I think Harbaugh may take this personal, this ass whooping we about to put on them. Okay? They got us good last year. They played a hell of a game last year. I'm not making any excuses. I don't want to hear anything about flu or the weather or nothing. No. We went up to Michigan and we got manhandled at the line of scrimmage. And it was downhill from there. We never controlled that line of scrimmage up in Ann Arbor last year, and it cost us. This year, I expect a completely different story. Okay? I'm expecting both of our tackles to just dominate. Paris Johnson and DeJuan Jones, I'm expecting them tackles to get real gritty. All right? I'm expecting C.J. Stroud to light it up on. I'm expecting Travion Henderson, and I'm not even going to mention Jackson Smith and Jigba. We already know what that's going to be, right? Can we all agree? He's one of the top 2 receivers in the country. I'm not even going to mention the other guy's name, but I'm sure you'll hear a lot about him this year. I'll mention him at another day and another time. But with that being said, I believe the Buckeyes will go 12-0. I don't see us losing any of these games. I think we got a favorable schedule. I think starting off the first 5 weeks at home is very good. Our first road game is until Michigan State. Tough team. We got Michigan at home. Where do you see the slip up? I don't see a slip up. Notre Dame, first week of the season, maybe, possibly. I don't see it. I don't believe in Notre Dame. I didn't believe in Notre Dame last year. You know, they caught some breaks. They won a few games, and I felt like the committee felt they felt pressured to put them in. You know, same with Cincinnati. There's no way Cincinnati was a top 4 team, and there's no way they should have been in the playoff. Now, Michigan earned that. They earned that spot. They beat us. I can't say that they didn't deserve it when they beat us, right? But Notre Dame, possibly our toughest game. You get that out of the way week 1, it's smooth sailing. I don't see any slip-ups. I see a couple tough matches, like I mentioned. Penn State, maybe. Maybe Wisconsin to be tough. But other than that, I don't believe Michigan will be tough at all. I think Michigan will be lucky to be in the top 15, top 20 by the time we play that game, if they're lucky, which is going to hurt our schedule because, you know, we're going to need some quality wins. And looking at all these, you know, a lot of these cupcakes, yeah, they're ranked now, but by the time we play them, they won't be ranked. I don't think Wisconsin will be ranked number 18 by the time we play them. I don't think Michigan State will be ranked number 15 by the time we play them. Don't see it. I sure don't see Michigan at number 8 by the time we play them. They'll probably be about number 19, number 20. I think they'll have about 2 losses by then. That's just how I see it. I'm not a believer in them whatsoever. Okay? So, the 2 night games at home within the first 3 weeks, that's awesome for recruiting. All right, we had a real good recruiting class this year. We lost a couple, but that's expected. You can't catch every fish in the pond, right? All right, there are other good programs out there, and there are good other opportunities that fit best for the kids. I would love to see them all come to Ohio State. That doesn't mean that's the best place for them. You know, like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow did awesome in LSU. Ohio State probably wasn't the best place for him. It's like that sometimes. Jameson Williams, the receiver that went to Alabama. Ohio State wasn't the best place for him, but Alabama used him very well. Okay? Some of these recruits, we are not the best place for everybody. When we understand that, you understand some of these recruits are going to come and go. But having 2 night games within the first 3 weeks, that is awesome for recruiting. The kids love that. When they show up to campus and college game day is there, it's an electric atmosphere. I don't know if you've ever been to a night game at the Shoe, but it's a place to be. It is a stunning place to be, a night game in the Horseshoe next to the Scioto River. It is amazing. So when you have young kids coming in and they're looking at that, they make up their mind. That helps with recruiting for the next year. So that's awesome to have that, the 2 night games. Now, next I want to talk about today the All-American list was released today. Okay? There are a few names that stand out, of course, to me as Buckeye fans. A couple omissions that I think they got it wrong. And an interesting point. So let's start with who made the All-American team. On offense, we had Travion Henderson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Paris Johnson. So Travion Henderson, the running back, Jackson Smith and Jigba, our wide receiver, Paris Johnson, our left tackle. He was a guard last year. I think they moved him to left tackle this year. He's an All-American. Amazing offensive lineman. He's great. Well-deserved. Notice I didn't say C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud did not make the All-American team. The quarterback from Alabama did. I think, personally, they're neck and neck. Now, that Bryce kid down in Alabama is good. I'm not going to lie, he's good. I think C.J. Stroud is better. I may be biased, but I'm allowed. It's okay. I can be biased. I'm going to keep it honest with you. I'm not going to say anything ridiculous like you know, C.J. Stroud is blowing everybody out of the water. No, he's still young, but I give him a little bit of edge over the kid in Alabama because I watched him progress every week. I watched him have that terrible game in Minnesota and get better every week. And under the pressure of being an Ohio State quarterback, people were calling for his head after week 1. They wanted him cut. They wanted to put the young kid in. I mean, we had that, I think his name's Quinn Ewers, the kid with the mullet from Texas. He was sitting on the bench, so I'll put him in. You know. One thing about Ohio sports, one of the most popular people in football is the backup quarterback. Because the first incompletion, everybody wants the backup quarterback in. No, but I watched him increase and get better every week. I thought he should have been an All-American. They chose different. So we have 3 All-Americans on offense, 0 on defense. That surprises me. That really surprises me. So we're going to see what we're made of on defense. Clearly, they don't think we have any All-Americans on that side of the ball. They should play with a chip on their shoulder. They should fire off the ball and play with a chip on their shoulder. I think DeJuan Jones should have made the All-American team. We'll see how this goes. Now, with that being said, let's have a little fun. I want to list my top 5 Buckeye All-Americans, my favorites. I didn't say that they're the greatest All-Americans. These are my personal Buckeye All-American favorites, my top 5. Hazzeus' top 5. Let's run it. At number 5, I got Orlando Pace, 2-time All-American, 1995, 1996. At number 4, I got Chris Spielman, 2-time All-American, 1986, 1987. At number 3, I got Mike Doss, a 3-time All-American, 2000, 2001, 2002. At number 2, my favorite linebacker in Ohio State history of all time, the Big Cat, Andy Katzenmoyer. That's my number 2, Hazzeus' favorite Buckeye All-Americans. And at number 1, he wore number 27. And that boy used to run up and down the field, straight up and down. He reminded me of a Eric Dickerson, the way he used to run. Eddie George, surprisingly only a 1-time All-American, 1994, which was also, the year I graduated from high school. But those are my top 5 All-American Buckeyes of all time. So comment in the section, leave your top 5 in the comment section below. Tell me your 5 favorites. All right, and until next time, OHIO.